Alright, welcome in everybody. Sorry, I had to mess with some settings and stuff to make sure that everything can be heard. So, hopefully everybody can hear me pretty good and that my sound's not too bad. Alright, welcome in everybody. Sorry, I had to mess with some settings and stuff to make sure that everything can be heard. So, hopefully everybody can hear me pretty good. Never mind, now we're good. I was getting echoes from my YouTube, so I think we're all good now. Hopefully audio is good. Settings. Actually, let me go ahead and log out and log back in. I've had this open for a little bit. That might be the problem. Try this again. I think we're good. Alright. We're good. You good? Alright, there we go. Everything's good now. Welcome in, everybody. Sorry for a little bit of mess up. Our AC is having issues, so I'm like overheating and sweating to death and trying to, earlier AC defrost was like 94 degrees here. Hopefully we did have a little bit of rain, but it just added humidity. So we are going to be playing Vampire the Masquerade Reckoning in New York. I have never heard of the series, probably maybe in passing, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and play this game real quick and see what it's all about. We're gonna start with a new game. Actually, before we do that, let me go ahead and, sorry, I'm all over the place. I'll blame me being heat deprived. We'll go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and read about it real quick. So we're going to go ahead and read about it real quick. So this is the trailer. It looks really, really, really good. And I'm going to go ahead and read through. So it's coming soon on Steam, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series XS, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Planned release date is Q3 of 2024. Dive into the streets of New York City in 2024, where the delicate balance of power hangs by a thread. Navigate the treacherous waters of vampiric politics as you contend with every shifting landscape between the Camarilla and Anarchs in a city where every move can mean the difference between unlife and final death. Will you carve out your own destiny amidst the chaos, or will your ambitions spell your doom? Vampire the Masquerade Reckoning in New York invites you to immerse yourself in the third installment of this gripping visual novel series set against the backdrop of a modern-day metropolis teeming with supernatural intrigue. Embrace the darkness as a kindred, a vampire thrust into a world of danger and betrayal where survival is paramount. Play with the new gameplay mechanics as you harness the power of disciples to overcome challenges or even evade the relentless pursuit of hunters but hot on your trail, but beware the insatiable hunger that gnaws at your rear being, threatening to unleash the beast within.
Hi, Twitty. I can't stay long. I just got home after a super long day, but I just want to say hello and I miss you. I miss you too. I'm so sorry you didn't get to see that message till just now. I had to help my husband find the remote and stuff, but hopefully you guys can hear me and I sound better. I probably sound really loud now. Hopefully that's better just a little bit. Just a little bit. Alright. Hopefully I sound better now. Da, 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 da. Do. Okay. So I was reading this. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place and I'm sweating death. Alright. Play with new gameplay mechanics as you harness the power of disciples to overcome challenges or evade the relentless pursuit of hunters hot on a trail. But beware the insatiable hunger that gnaws at your very being, threatening to unleash the beast within. Embark on a journey of discovery and deception from different perspectives, each offering unique insights into the clandestine world of the Big Apple's Knights. As the saga of the New York kindred draws to a close, prepare to experience the thrilling conclusion to this gripping tale in the heart of this concurrent jungle. I have not played the other two games. I do plan on getting them. Right now is not the best time. I do not have the funds to do so, but eventually I will be getting them and we will play it from the beginning. But for right now, we are going to play the demo to the new one. It is a mature content game. So if there's anybody that's lurking in the comments, watches it later, it is mature content. The developers describe the content like this: the world of Darkness of Vampire the Masquerade depicts mature content from vampires, blood, fights, and fear are the main mature content of this game. And now I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. And we're going to go back to this. Hopefully we have sound. And we do. Alright. We're good to go. This is not a controller platform game. This is mouse, not mouse and keyboard game. So I am going to move my controller out of my way. Robin, I hope that you are getting better and starting to feel better, and we miss you bunches. I will not be talking in the middle of dialogue. I don't know if this is a voice game. I don't think it is. I think you're going to have to bear with my voice, but that shall be okay. We are going to play as Callie, so I'm assuming that this character will eventually be able to be unlocked. But right now we're going to play Callie. So my sire's gone AWOL, and I've got no clue why. It sucks. But hey, I'm a raven. When things get dicey, I go with my gut. And right now, it tells me just to keep searching. It hasn't let me down so far, and it won't start right now, right? Ooh. Disciplines. Animalism. Animalism allows kindred to communicate with or control or feed more effectively on animals. Obfuscate. There's some words I'm going to have to learn now. Obfuscate is a power that allows the kindred to hide easily, move without being noticed, and cast illusions. Presence. Presence embodies kindred ability to influence a social scene as flawlessly as they do their hunting grounds. Available points, so we can pick points to put in each one. So I think I kind of want to go for presence and animalism. Alright. Struggle against your inner beast by adding extra cost and risk to this disciplines. Hunger on, hunter threat on. So we're going to keep everything as on. We're going to keep it all as on. Night 1, the beginning. Vampire the Masquerade, Reckoning of New York. December 2024, 7 nights till New Year. D'Angelo's bureau, if you can even call it that, feels more like a rough draft of an asteroid belt. Suggesting it's shabby almost gives it too much credit, as if there's some hidden allure to the mess, which there definitely isn't. His head is cocked thoughtfully, beady eyes piercing me right through. Does this acute interest stem from the matter I brought in, or does he simply enjoy watching me wriggling in this wretched chair? I'd ask, but underneath the repulsive mask of his face, I notice something that looks a lot like fear, a detail I pocket for later. A strong, synthetic odor taints the still air. The world is moving forward, but this crap reeks worse than your average smoke. And the way he swashes those mini cigs in the ashtray, it's clear D'Angelo's struggling to shake off old habits. Not that I'm one to throw stones, but he's quite the character. Useful, but infuriating too at times. Like right now, for example. Let me get this straight. You lost your sire, eh? Patience, Callie. Am I speaking the riddles? Oh, come on. Am I speaking in riddles? Did my words evaporate before hitting your ears? He rolls his eyes so theoretically you'd think he was auditioning for a noir play. It's my way of cracking the case. And you know I'm here to lend you a hand, Callie. Now come on, spill the beans. Lay it all out. That's the issue. He just flaked on our meeting, and I don't know why. Renard Castle has a knack for vanishing, though. Maybe he had to make himself scarce. Skip town? He'd have left me a clue for sure. You still relying on those wall tags, the hobo code or whatnot? Little Chandler here has totally been killing it lately. I mean, I might have casually mentioned the code once or twice, but nothing major. Well, alright. Maybe I showed him a symbol, one that's pretty much useless on its own. If Renner catches wind of me spilling the beans, he's gonna flip. He's like Fort Knox when it comes to our secrets. We do, and I find it absolutely zilch, which doesn't happen, by the way. We never bail on each other when we split up for stuff like this. It's just too dangerous. Maybe he didn't have a chance to leave a trail. Where were you two supposed to rendezvous? Where were you supposed to rendezvous? Why is he snooping around so much? I should tell him. He doesn't need it now. Why is he snooping around so much? Feels like I'm on trial here. You literally asked me to conduct this investigation. What do you expect me to do? Pull an answer out of my ass? I really don't want to know what he could pull out of his ass, and I intend to tell him as much, but he speaks first. Besides, I already know your spot. Coney Island, right? I feel my eyelid twitch. You're bluffing. I was, but your reaction spilled the whole story. Maybe dropping by D'Angelo's wasn't such a great plan. Or maybe he's not as useless as I assumed. But he's definitely got me on edge. I shoot him a skeptical look, but he appears to be elsewhere, lost in his own thoughts. His lips move silently, almost like he's whispering a prayer. Prick your ears, what's that? Ignore it. I strain my ears and finally catch a few words. When a damsel in distress entered his dimly lit office, lost in the urban jungle and with nowhere to go, she turned to the only person she could trust, Detective Extraordinaire Gianni D'Angelo. But neither of them foresaw the storm brewing, ready to shake the world to its core. I'll skip over your noir wet dreams, but what's the deal with the storm? Don't you worry about it. The way he says it really makes me worry about it, but I brush it off. So you made your way to Coney Island but came up empty-handed. No Cassiel, no trail to follow, anything noteworthy at all? Just your typical shady assholes loitering around, clearly up to something. Pretty standard for New York City as far as I'm aware. Shady assholes? Who? Kindred? Regular folks. All twitchy and restless. If it wasn't so passé, I'd bet they were going to pull off a flash mob. A look of confusion flashes across his face. Flash mob? The hell's a flash mob? Don't you worry about it. We stare at each other for a while. I smugly and he utterly perplexed. I savor the moment, waiting for him to break the silence. But when he finally speaks, it's not at all what I was expecting to hear. To be frank, Callie, I'm running short in answers. Your sire seemed just temporarily unavailable, or gone for good, or something else. Can't say I'm entirely shocked. He tries to stroll around nonchalantly, but the mess in his burrow just as nonchalantly throws him off balance. It completely ruins his noir vibe. So I shoot him a cheeky grin, but he's too tied up to even notice. Breaking character must have rattled him good. If I were you, I'd take a leaf out of his book and disappear pronto. In fact, that's exactly what I intend to do once I'm through with my business in the city. I unpocket the fear I observed a moment ago and give D'Angelo another good lasting look. He's genuinely terrified, like seriously scared. But there's this hint of desperation too. I've got to tame my inner con artist. She's practically salivating in my head, just wanting to join in. But when things go south, D'Angelo's the buddy you stick with, not somebody you ditch and forget. Gianni, seriously, what's up? I'm kind of freaking out here. There are too many loose ends to stitch together a complete tale, and frankly, it's too lengthy for just one night anyway. But there's a storm gathering in the city. I've been through some rough patches, but this feels like a whole different kind of trouble. Cut the cryptic shit just for once. He looks over my shoulder, lost in thought, like he's figuring out how to drop an anchor or something. Who's already drowning. Our kind has been dropping like flies lately. Nobody seems to be a specific target, but it's hitly mostly dust sport. The court dubs it the culling of thin bloods. Real knee slapper, they've got those son of guns. But there's been other victims too. A chill runs down my dead spine. Here's the sad reality. New York City has never been as dangerous for Kindred as it is these nights. The perpetrator? Any clue who might be behind it? I've got a couple theories. You know what? I'll fill you in while we hit the road. The urge to flee slams into me like a freight train. There's something about his tone that almost convinces me to hightail it out of the city. But it's not quite time to make a break for it. I'm going to stick around for a while, so... D'Angelo is visibly concerned. Should I be worried too? You're really not going to let him go, huh? Of course not. I'll find Renard come hell or high water. Besides, someone has to handle detective duty since, judging by how desperately you want me to drive you out of town, damsel in distress is already taken. D'Angelo tilts his head downward just enough to fix his crooked smile, a smile abandoned by joy long ago. I know you well enough to not even bother trying to change your mind, but you have a knack for diving headfirst into trouble, so hear me out. Keep your head down. Stay off the radar, don't feed willy-nilly, and above all, don't reveal your true nature unless you're 100% sure nobody can see you. So the masquerade, basically. I'm not joking, Callie. Keep low or else. Yeah, thanks for the tip. I rise to my feet and wave goodbye as I head out the door. I'll grab you once I find Renard on my own since you have such a big... I'll grab you once I found Renard on my own since you've been such a big help. It takes me a while to actually notice the air around me, crisp and clear without the ever-present stench of D'Angelo's nicotine habit. I find it's taking me longer each time to catch on. When will I reach the point where I don't notice it anymore? Renard's silence Renard's silence and the total lack of hints about his whereabouts bug me way more than I'm ready to say out loud. The streets are deserted. It's like everyone vanished, scared off by the winter chill that mortals seem to hate. The darkness of the night lit up by the bursts of color is kind of beautiful in a bleak urban way. But my sire is gone, and I don't know what to do. Back at D'Angelo's, I was all talk, swearing that I tracked down Renard. Myself are burned up trying. Pretty sure he saw right through my bullshit. Were I half as confident as I pretended, I wouldn't feel so utterly lost. In late December, in the big fucking dangerous apple of all places. If D'Angelo's warnings have any weight, maybe it's time to bulk up our supplies. Our corridor, let's say we're big on being ready for anything. Renard's the mastermind behind all of our safety nets, making sure we don't even brush close to failure. His obsessive preparedness has pulled us out of the fire more than once. Wherever we're running our gigs, we've got these spots stocked up with goods, and let's call it personal protection. One of those hidden caches lies just around the block, if I remember right. It's been ages, but that's probably the first place I should hit up before I go hunting for Renard. Better safe than in a grave, right? Alright. Square one, the RV main quest. Sure, my RV is a fortress on wheels and all, but I better move it before it starts drowning too much attention. And if anything happens to our stash, well, I'd rather not dwell on that unless I want dodging Renard to become my main focus instead of figuring out where he vanished. Alright, so... main quest, detour. Survival is a game we'll play, or so we're not always told our courtier. That's why we've stashed supply crashes all over, with the closest one near the Washington Cemetery. Getting to those warnings hold water, grabbing some supplies might actually come in handy. So we're actually going to do this. Great, just fucking great. Looking over the wreckage of what used to be my secret stash, I can't stop the flood of swears that could probably rouse Cain himself from his eternal rest. Whoever the hell found it, they cleared it out completely. What am I playing tonight? It is called... Hold on. Really? Why didn't my game shut off? That was strange. Alright, Vampires... Hold on. Vampires Reckoning of New York, I'm pretty sure is what it's called. I don't know why I did that, though. Yeah, the Vampires... Reckoning of New York, yeah. Alright. As my game shut out on me, that was strange. Looking over the wreckage of what used to be my secret stash, I can't stop the flood of swears that could probably rouse Cain himself from his eternal rest. Whoever the hell found it, they cleared it out completely. They didn't even have the courtesy of leaving my bad for the raid note. It wasn't a treasure trove or anything. Just an old combat knife, a bulletless revolver, and some jewelry I was planning to pawn off for far less than what they were worth. I get why they take that stuff, but seriously, what's anyone going to do with a cooler full of expired blood bags? Could this have been the work of one of our kin? After what D'Angelo said, it doesn't seem too far-fetched. Fuck. Whoever they are, they better hope I don't find them first. Stepping back onto the streets, the harsh reality hits me. My year is history, and no amount of complaining is going to magically bring it back. Believe me, I've tried. But then again, maybe I'm just being paranoid. D'Angelo has a thing for urban legends and slapping conspiracy theories onto pretty much anything. Why should this time be any different? It's Christmas after all. Around these parts, looting is practically a holiday tradition. As I'm coming to terms with my situation and thinking about what to do next, I get that weird feeling. It's like my inner alarm system is giving me a nudge, telling me something's off. A quick look behind me confirms it. Yep, I've got followers, and not just one, but two. Finally hit my social media milestone. My gut tells me to move faster, and I find myself darting into a barely lit alleyway, disappearing into the shadows. I press myself against the cold brick and wait. That's when I catch it. A high-pitched voice filled with endless babble. Her words cut through the air, harsh and acidic. She's talking about me, and it's far from flattering. It was her. The freak drab and all that drab gray. I effing told you. Drab gray? Who the hell does she think she is? I need to get a look at them. Girl, we come back empty-handed for the third time, and we're fucking cooked. Oh, fuck her in her cheap-ass forest ranger getup. The nerve to diss my look. Hi, Carlos. How are you? Why are they even after me, anyway? The one making all the noises, fidgeting non-stop, like a squirrel high on candy, muttering something I can't make out. It's clear planning impromptu actions isn't her strong suit. The other one seems timid, obviously wishing she was anywhere but here. Daunt, wait a little longer. I kind of want to go for Daunt. Screw it. Time to see what they're really made of. Wait, hold on. I missed something. I find the whole scene hilarious under different circumstances, but I've gotten bigger fish to fry than this low-budget permanent midnight remake. Screw it. Time to see what they're really made of. Okay. I strides toward them, deliberately noisy. The quiet one faints immediately, while the loud one's eyes go wide the moment she spots me. You were hunting for a freak? Well, congrats. You found one. Ah, shit. She recoils, fumbling for something under her jacket, panicking because it's taking too long. I channel every bit of the malice I've honed during my dark web days and unleash it full force on her. Oh, you think you can handle me? That's adorable. In a single fluid move, I'm up in her grill. Come on, bitch, I'll tear your ass. Hold so many pieces, I'll never put your story back together. Get away from me. Finally, she loses her shit and makes a run for it, tripping over her own feet on the way. I lose sight of her, and her panic noises fade. It's almost riveting, if not for the reason she was here in the first place. In the end, I leave them both be. They weren't exactly a threat, but damn, it turns out D'Angelo wasn't just blowing smoke up my ass. But none of that alters my goal. Finding Renard remains a top priority. Hi, Spark. How are you? Warning. I'm going to pause here for a second. Warning, this game has cussing in it. If you're not old enough, I would not stay. There is a lot of cussing. It is. I put a warning when I first started streaming. I said a warning. It has explicit content. It is not a kid game. How are you, Spark? Welcome in. Hopefully everybody's weekend was well. Kind of gonna calm a second for a minute because I'm gonna end up losing my voice by talking so fast. Ooh, that was a little loud. Let me turn down the sound because I think it's a little loud. You're 27. No, I know. I was just letting everybody know because I don't know. It's not really telling me who. I swear tons. I'm a sailor, trust me, I get it. But no, I just wanted to make sure everybody know. Me and you are not that far apart in age part. Alright, so I'm going to keep going. Alright, but none of that alters my goal. Finding Renard remains top priority. Tired, oh, D&D was insane tonight. I love D&D. Me and my husband are actually trying to find more people to play D&D with because my husband's in the military, so we don't really have any people to play with. We beat an ancient blue dragon with the power of friendship, literally. That's awesome. Yeah, I miss playing D&D. One of my characters that I used to play got killed, and that was so sad. It's been a while since we played a good campaign, though. I'm glad to hear that, Carlos. I could go back to Coney Island and see if he turned up while I was gone. The possibility of berating him for thoughtlessness cracks me up, if only a little. And yeah, I gotta move the RV before it draws too much attention, before some busybody develops an unwanted interest in it. But there's no point in driving it to Coney Island when I can take the subway, so what to do first? I'm happy to be here. I'm glad. Square one, Coney Island. The run-down parking lot where I stashed my RV seemed deserted enough to keep away prying eyes. I should head back to Coney Island and see if Renard showed up while I was away. Or maybe he left one of our signature wall signs cluing me in on what to do next. Alright, let's just see. This one is, sure, my RV is a fortress on wheels and all, but I better move it before it starts drawing too much attention, and if anything happens to our stash, well, I'd rather not dwell on that unless I want dodging Renard to become my main focus, instead of figuring out where he vanished. It attacked us, and our NPC friend started collapsing the temple and yelling at us to run. He was gonna keep the dragon from following us. We were like, absolutely not. That is our friend. We won't leave. Aww. See, that's how I am when I play D&D. Oh, I wish you looked closer, Spark. I want to play a good game of D&D. If anything happens to our stash, Renard's going to skin me when he shows up. I happen to like my skin. Had it for as long as I can remember. Plus, it's not like he's facing his final death or anything. I think. New York really lives up to its rep at the city that never sleeps. People keep walking past, oblivious to the intensity of my gaze. The blood slowly coursing through the veins just beneath the surface of the skin tempts me in ways I cannot describe. I force myself to look away, not for the dregs of my own morality, more because I feel any grand respect for them is simpler than that. Too many eyes. Too much risk. My courtier's unspoken credo. You can best us in strength, but not even you can win against the power of friendship, bitch. Iconic. Our sorcerer cast hypnotic pattern, and it hit, and so we ran out as the temple collapsed. Giant friend picked me up and ran with me as we fled. I yelled at her. That's great. I love that. I really do love that. That's awesome. As I approach the ruined parking lot where I've stashed my RV, I freeze. Shit. There's already a crowd milling around, three of them, maybe mortal, but kindred or ghouls are much more likely. Because what random thieves suddenly got their hands itchy for an RV as old as mine? No. They must be Camarilla types, given where we are. I can feel my Vita starting to boil, but I play it cool. What's their interest in my RV? How do they even find it? And more importantly, how do I get them to leave? In a blink, the drifting snowflakes seem deafening. Next to my gate, the kindred don't see me. Can't detect hint of my movement as I approach my RV. Continue. Seeing it like this shatters the remnants of my heart. They've wrecked it. Digging through hidden compartments, flipping through confidential documents that won't reveal anything to them, spilling my meticulously stored blood, and tossing my sparse furnishing onto the pavement. My home violated, ruined, done. I hang back until they're all outside, huddled together over some undoubtedly crucial matter. Barely containing the wrath simmering just under my cold, undead skin, I force myself to calm down. I'll sneak into the driver's seat before my illusion fades away. Speeding off right under the noses is bold, maybe even a bit stupid, but, well, I follow my gut like I always do. It rarely fails me, but when it does, oh boy. I mean, I am ravenous, right? The first idea that pops into my head is typically the winner. Just as I'm about to make my move toward the RV, I spot her. Actually, scratch that. It's my skin that reacts first. Every hair standing on end as if electrocuted. An alarm blares in my head, screaming danger. Only then do I see her stepping smoothly out of the shadows, gait relaxed and yet somehow predatory. Leaving so soon, sugar? I have no idea who she is, and I'm normally spot on at identifying those who prefer me finally dead. It's a handy in my line of business. Yep, duty calls, and by duty I mean you can fuck right off. She doesn't even blink at my quip and just keeps inching closer. I feel an urge to step back, but as quick side eye informs me that the prowling kindred have returned and are standing right behind me. I'm afraid you're gonna have to come with me. I was raised better than that. Sorry, no can do, sweetheart. Dad always said not to go off with strangers. Her smile stretches wider, but it's devoid of any real humor or warmth. She's only steps away now, and I'm effectively trapped. Well, this stranger isn't giving you too many options, doll. I am Valerie Duval, the Scourge of New York. The council ensued an arrest warrant in your name since they've taken interest in your unusual endeavors. With those recent business meetings, they've left a trail of breadcrumbs to the scrumptious... With those recent business meetings, you've left a trail of breadcrumbs too scrumptious not to follow. The fuck? We barely had time to look around in New York, let alone meet up with anyone. Now you can either accompany me without a fuss, or, well, let's just leave it at the first option. It's decidedly in your best interest. She gestures to one of the kindred behind me, who brandishes a hefty, sharpened stake. My throat tightens involuntarily. What the fuck does the council want with me? Akadar's business isn't all against their precious traditions, is it? I'm not without reason, darling. Your move. God, she's annoying. Thanks for the fake choice. You have the wrong person. Alright, did anybody know which one we should pick? You have any ideas? Because I can just continue to pick, but I just figured I'd give you guys a choice, and we'll see what happens. Mind you, we can die in this game. Wrong person. Honestly, you've got the wrong person, unless you're talking about a parole violation in which, or a parole violation, in which case, hey, I've been guilty of that way back when. I'm seriously just here by chance, so if we could just... The tip of the stake jabs painfully against my back, right where my heart would be beating madly if it wasn't all shriveled up. Shit. Last chance. Alright, Jesus, I'll fucking go with you. Valerie tosses me a so-called smile, the sort that could turn the sun into ice. Good girl. Now come the council is waiting. Judgment at the Asylum. I'm assuming that's asylum. I might be wrong. Now I'm being slammed with accusations of off-book blood trading and hauled to Asylum for interrogation. What the fuck? There's no way I'm playing along. Well, maybe. Well, maybe I am. Seeing as I'm about to go fame to fame with the creme de la creme of New York's ivory tower. So this is their joint. The art hole? Seriously? Could they have picked a more pretentious spot? The ivory tower splinter has wedged itself right in the middle of New York City's swankiest row. Elysium? Yeah, that's what I figured. Welcome to the still heart of the Camarilla's intricate machinations. Here's where the local kindred clink their glasses, all the while plotting each other's demise. Unless, of course, you're a para like me, an outcast from a wrong clan with a knack of stirring up trouble, in which case, you're screwed from the get-go. Honestly, I prefer not knowing how posh it is. Places like this don't exactly roll out the red carpet for someone who deals with my kind of stuff. But, since I've got no immediate escape plans, might as well play along. I'd happily shit on it on principle, but gotta admit, it seems pretty low-key on the outside. Not counting the two chuckling goons who clearly missed the memo and blending with the crowd. And on that note, is there a giggle-worthy revelation you'd care to share with me, Birdie? Your demeanor hints at a job well done, does it not? The awkward freeze frame those two are stuck in would be comedy gold if it wasn't knee-deep in my own mess. Yeah, Miss Duval, sir. I mean, not really anything too wild, you know? Just like the usual stuff we're seeing, I guess? Does this usual stuff include dubious characters within a mile's reach of eyes them. Groups for which you were specifically instructed to watch out? 3 of them, to be exact, if my count holds true. 3 groups of what? Honestly, I didn't spot a thing. Then again, maybe I'm just not clued in on what to look out for. Letter cook, 3 plus 5 equals a bazillion. Wait, I've seen that before. Still, as she describes them, my mind races back to my unsuccessful meetup with Renard and that weird run-in near a stash. Those dubious characters, could they be what D'Angelo was hitting at? Maybe they're the clue to the baffling disappearance of my sire. Might as well drop a subtle hit without going full disclosure. Maybe I'll reel in some info while still playing the part. You talking about the concealed carry enthusiast snooping around like Trouble's her middle name? Ran into a similar crowd down by, near Washington Cemetery? Or is there something more to them than being overly fond of their Second Amendment rights? I appreciate the input, but that doesn't top your list of worries at the moment, sugar. So much for that intel fishing. I mean, I apologize, we really should have. Yes, you really should have. Boy, that shot through him like an icy bullet. I wasn't exactly cozy myself, but that poor sod probably just shed the last ounce of warmth left in him. Return to your duties at once. I'll be expecting a detailed report within the next hour. Yes, Miss Duval, sir. He waddles off like a scolded kid, and his pal refuses to meet our eyes. I throw Valerie a look of unwilling respect. She obviously holds some serious clout in these parts. Come now, dragging your feet earns you no favors, and believe me, you could use a few. Is that an offer, Miss Duval? Her smile serves as enough of a silent veto to make it clear that prying any further is futile. Not exactly a good sign. She swings the door open, but there's no warm invitation in the gesture. The place doesn't quite live up to the posh art gallery image in my mind. Sure, there's a hint of what could be esquents on the walls, but most of the art is either shoved aside or covered up. My instincts shift into overdrive. First up, a quick room survey. Scurrying for access points, take a good look around. This is where it gets really rough. I need to slow down a little bit and think. Take a good look around, or scan for access points, or search for escape routes. I might be ready to focus on something else, but the real show stealer is this stupidly massive table, littered with papers and a map of the five bureaus spotted with enigmatic markings and chess pieces. 2 particular areas are heavy with pins, though their meaning is lost in me from this distance. Vintage trunks are strewn about without a second thought, but what really grabs the eye is a lineup of wickedly curved swords, sending a faint memory of a shiver up my spine. Taken in all in, this place screams less art gallery and more war room. Set 2 practically fooled on its own. The room's a powder keg of kindred in the middle of an intense debate. The tension is palpable. Suspicion dialed up to 11. That's when their voices finally break through the walls of my focus. Wouldn't have been such an issue if we had taken action when the signs were glaringly obvious. That long-haired hunk must be quad air out as my the Camarilla's sheriff. I've had my fill of stories about him, but now I can put a face to the reputation. If only the rest of us were blessed with your profound gift of foresight, Sheriff on life would be a walk in the park. Allow me to emphasize, our risks aren't limited to a single front. Acting on a gut feeling might work wonders in motion pictures. Here in the real world, it's a different story. This one's a mystery to me. But the way he's navigating the conversation, he's clearly a heavyweight in these parts. Spare me the pretense of ignorance, Artero. The pattern was unmistakable well over a month ago now. Artero. Thomas Artero. Shit. Renard explicitly told me to steer clear of this guy's mess. The bickering rages on, and Valerie doesn't seem eager to reveal her catch. AKA, yours truly. Your playful decision to allow the Thin Bloods to appoint Larson as the Primogen raises his final death to a level that can't be casually swept under the rug, Helene. Thin-blooded or not, it throws into question our grip on the situation. That gothed-out Ally McBeal, definitely Aisling Sturbridge, the Tremere Regent. I've been curious if Renard's operation extends into local chantry, but he was as always tight-lipped about his private affairs. What would you have me do then? Unleash our dear sheriff without adequate consciousness? Just in the name of haste? We can't overlook his excessive efficiency in the last skirmish, can we? Doesn't the prospect of a masquerade breach give you a pause? Behold the queen bee herself, Helene Penhaupt, the reigning prince of sticks up the ass. I figure we're all fond of keeping things the way they are, but there's times to just sit back and think, and then there's times when you gotta step up and do something bold. This feels like it's time to make a move. An Anarch championing chaos, a revelation that somehow fails to astonish Augustine Barron of the Bronx. An Anarch Baron inside Elysium. Now that's a plot twist. What's the deal here? As I continue to look around, another figure catches my eye. A young-looking woman entirely decked out in black, casually playing with a cigarette. She shoots me a brief glance, clearly picking up on my curiosity. There's silence. ... That ancient fart in the wheelchair whispering to his servant? Who's that? Right as he's about to chime in, some lanky guy I totally missed till now decides to butt in. My apologies for interrupting Mr. Payne, but it appears Miss Duval has brought forth the issue you mentioned. It might be wise to ensure she is not exposed to unnecessary information. How did I overlook this guy? He's all limbs and quirks, playing with some odd ring on his finger. He sticks out in this upscale bunch like a sore thumb. Is my mojo on vacation or what? Yes, thank you for that shrewd observation, Katif. She hurls those words like she's spitting venom. Whatever the opposite of sympathy is, she's brimming with it. Wait. Katif? Esteemed counsel, I give you the troublesome Ravnus Yonit. I gather you all desire a swift resolution to this matter. Her disruptions have been minimal thus far. Let us hope that trend continues. As if on cue, every eye shifts to me. I'm not one to buckle under stage fright, but this silent ostracism is on a whole new level. In this room, I'm on my own. I understand the formal necessity of addressing all. This, as well as my role in the matter. However, there are more pressing concerns demanding attention. Far more pressing. Shall we discard all traditions, too, while we're at it? We've pirouetted around the Hudson problem for more than a year, yet progress remains as stale as our debate. Certainly a few additional moments to honor the very laws you spearhead so vigorously couldn't hurt, could they? The Hudson is a completely different beast, as you're well aware. We need to address the locust swarm engulfing New York before Camarilla's entire framework crumbles beneath its weight. And how does that sit with you, Payne? Just last night, 2 Dustborn and their fledgling from your clan were reduced to ashes, and we're still in the dark about who's pulling the strings. Shouldn't that worry you more than policing the purity of the red market? The old guy's servant steps forward, all awkward and rigid. In principle, I agree, Sheriff. However, should we continue to disregard even minor infractions, we broadcast a message of vulnerability. Vulnerability threatens our efforts within and beyond our borders. Efforts we plan to carry on without interruption once the locust swarm, as you've termed it, is eradicated. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I'm inclined to agree with Gramps on this one. We can't simply let something like that slip through the cracks without taking proper measurements. So you assume the role of his advocate now. Quite the bold ascent up the ladder of your own making. What's next on the horizon? Another hostile? Enough already. An awkward silence falls over the room. But it seems more about customs than actual respect. Guess we're all just creatures of habit, undead or alive. Let's see. There, Prince Panhard. The sheer theoretics of the situation give me a moment to sneak a glance at He's avoiding eye contact with me, which you typically read as a weakness. But it's far from that. In fact, he's ice cold and focused. His gaze meeting mine might be the last thing I see before bidding farewell to my undead existence. But there's something deeper. He appears untamed, like a wolf in an ambush, perfectly still, yet poised to tear into anyone foolish enough to trigger his fury. When the prince finally manages to speak, her voice lacks the confidence you'd anticipate from someone at the helm. We're all here for the same reason. You are Aisling, or am I mistaking you? Or am I mistaken and you forget where your loyalties lie? Even now as she turns to me, her presence is weighed down. Not that I care. My head's on the chopping block and she's the one calling the shots on whether it stays put on or rolls off. Now let's put this issue to rest here and now. Strive for brevity, Sheriff. Understood. The weight of his gaze is enough for me to lower my shoulders. Whatever comes, it's not going to be pretty. Callie of Clan Ravenous, you stand accused of violating the New York's Camarilla's praxis, infringing on the tradition of hospitality and endangering the Masquerade, among other things. Well, shit. Wait. On what grounds? Drop the act. There's a wealth of evidence in that recreational vehicle and wars, most of it confirming the suspicions we have been harboring over the recent months. Petty theft from our subjects, impersonation of other kindred, lineage forgery. Need I go on? Okay, guilty, but when did they start caring? It's not like I'm the only one dipping my toes into the ocean of misdemeanors. At least they don't know about our artifact gig. But your involvement in large-scale blood and mortal trafficking outside our scrutiny and the jurisdiction of the circularity system is as obvious as it is dangerous to the stability of our domain. Large scale my ass. We hardly move anything through New York, definitely not enough to impact their operations. Plus, we're super careful. Especially with your clientele often being in direct hostility to our interests, as Primogen Payne was kind enough to confirm. Seriously? This can't be right. We always check out our clients. Well, Renard does, but... Is this some twisted way to set an example? Are they playing the undead IRS? What is their game, really? While some might chalk this up to colossal stupidity, I am neither so forgiving nor tolerant of fraudsters who respect nothing but their own gain. I'm not blind to the fact that Renard's completely MIA in this whole story. He's the big cheese, the head honcho of the entire affair, though calling it an affair might be giving it too much credit. So why are they making it out like I'm the mastermind behind some global crime syndicate? This is not the time to be quiet, Raven. Let's see. Gotta make a choice. You know what? Fuck them. I'm not going down without a fight. So I'm not your scapegoat. Not my RV, obviously, or what cash? I'm not your scapegoat. Obviously, you found something. How could you not when you're the one who planned it there to begin with? Careful, Isurus. I've watched the exonerated. I know the drill. Look, I get you need someone to pin this on, but you've got the wrong one. Out of nowhere, something pierces my mind, shredding its defenses to dust. It's like my head's been turned inside out, exposing my every thought for their amusement. I whip my head toward the source of this eerie sensation, and boom, those quad air. The freaking sheriff with those piercing eyes slicing through my layers of bullshit like it's cake. I earnestly hope that you're not taking me for a fool. That would be a misstep of monumental proportions, unlike anything these walls have witnessed. I get a glimpse of Aisling out of the corner of my eyes, silently mouthing words that look suspiciously like, I beg to differ. Right then, a curved sword appears in Quadere's hand, as though he's just pulled it straight from thin air. Or maybe I'm just going nuts. Honestly, I'd be totally shitting my pants right now if that part of me wasn't offline. I'm not here for your games, little Raven. Choose your next words carefully. I'd argue this utter lunacy clears her of charges. She couldn't even cobble together a feeble story, much less orchestrate clandestine trading of this magnitude, and yarn spinning is supposed to be your clan's forte, isn't it? Last chance, my dear. Is there anything of substance you wish to add? Holy shit. This can't really be happening, right? What's my move? What would Renard do? Renard, if he had the decency to pop up or at least toss me a fucking heads up, I wouldn't be knee deep in this disaster. Is he really in trouble, or... What if he bailed on me? Got a hit that the Camarilla was breathing down his neck and decided I'm the perfect scapegoat. Nah, that doesn't sound like him. But why target me and not Renard? Sure, he's gone now, but could they really be that clueless about him? I'm totally lost, but I do know what he would probably do. His move would be to look out for number one. Spill the beans more than necessary to buy some time. Time is gold, and with enough of it, maybe there's a chance to wiggle out of this mess. It's all or nothing now. Hit the jackpot or end up porcupine with stakes. Guess there's not much point in playing dumb, huh? Couldn't agree more. Game on. Alright then. So, I indeed am tangled up in this little blood trafficking operation, playing a pretty crucial part, if I do say so myself. Though I guess not everyone's on board with that assessment. I do the logistics, pushing merchandise through a series of dark web channels. Every eyebrow in the room goes up, except for the cigarette aficionado in the back, who lets out a slight smirk. I mean, a little controlled drama never hurts in a short con. All totally secure and anonymous. No slips about our thing, everything masked by the hustle of more mundane black markets. No way we're blowing Masquerade. We deal in stored blood, as you might have caught on. Not just any blood, though. Our merch is a little jazzed up. Thematically enhanced, to be exact. It's the only way they'd work, as you're well aware. I am, but that's not for you to find out. Right. Of course. Oh, we also doing, let's just call them family treasures, but honestly, that's more like a side gig than anything serious. But we're extremely careful about picking our clients and really thorough when it comes to making deals. You know, the traditions and all. I was sure we never even come close to breaking them. At least that's what he led me to believe. I had a hunch there was some dodgy dealings in his most recent ventures. To deny that would be a flat-out lie, but let's be real. I'm way outside the inner circle to have a real sway in those parts of his enterprise. For a brief moment, an uneasy silence sweeps over the room. His enterprise? Is this a joke? Exactly who is this he you're referring to? I give it my all to appear as blameless as possible. I thought I presumed you knew it was my sire who's masterminding it all. The room's heavy silence is filled with hushed whispers following my revelation. Good. If fortune is on my side, I might just live to see another moonrise. Indeed, how fortuitous as your sire would he, and indeed how fortuitous and your sire would be. There's only one other notable rogue in the city who comes to mind, someone dipping in and out, known for their shifty nature, of which I was somewhat aware. Renard Cassel. You nailed it, Chief. Sir. Another brief moment of silence gets interrupted by the girl in black, who addresses the sheriff. I can practically hear the cogs turning in your head, Quadair. What's your take on it? Truth be told, it does add up, though I had him pegged more as a con artist than a trafficker. Then why hasn't he been apprehended yet, Sheriff? Are you secretly endorsing activities that impede the circulatory system's operations? For your own good, Payne, I'd pretend I didn't catch that. Would you care to question my dedication to our cause again? Be warned, my patience wears extremely thin these nights. Can we put this bickering on hold, at least for the moment? An opportunity staring me in the face. How could I resist squeezing myself right into it? One more thing. Renard and I had a meeting lined up with a client a few hours back, but he never showed up. In the whole year and a half I've been into this gig, he's never just vanished like this. And what do you make of it? Now with the floodgates of truth wide open, it's time to dive into the art of lying my ass off. To be honest, I'm not sure. But now that I think of it, he's changed over the past few months. Become a lot more erratic than usual. Ready for my theory? I'm pretty sure he caught wind of your lot and decided to feed me to the flames while he made a run for it. Whether they're swallowing my story or they're just tired of my presence, it feels like I'm nudging things the way I want them. Not everyone's convinced, though. An unwitting pawn betrayed by her master. A likely story. Suitable for the stage indeed, but in this context, if I may. Damn it, Patrick. Don't go getting yourself into... Baron's warning arrives a bit too late. Instantly, the others shift their focus, fixing their eyes on the caitiff with unmistakable hostility. It's clear that they're not exactly fond of him. Since you've already disrupted the proceedings, you might as well say your piece, mediator. Very well, then. I am inclined to believe her, at least in the aspect most significant to the interests of our allies. Thanks, you mysterious weirdo. As ever, your assertion remains devoid of substance. My guy's advice is pretty much always on point. His track record speaks for itself. The sheriff has a point that seems to hold water. Her side might just be the one at fault. She's essentially a non-entity, is she not? A nobody that slipped under the radar until by a stroke of sheer bad luck she got caught red-handed. Do excuse the pun. When you give it another look, the evidence you have collected should indeed back up that claim quite convincingly. And what grounds your intricate evaluation precisely? My judgment is shaped by your vast experience and simply tempered by reasoning and intuition. It changes little regarding the consequences she must face for complicity in her sire's crimes. It's do or die. How about I serve you Renard's head on a silver platter in exchange for mine, unscathed, on my shoulders? Whatever stare pins me under silent disapproval, but he lets me, as the curly-haired asshole put it, spin my yarn. I know all his secret spots in this town, plus the spots he wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. I'm wired into his network, his contacts. I've got his playbook down, and I can stay one step ahead of him with ease. Just give me a chance, and we will all be thanking our lucky stars by the end. They slip into a quiet introspection, or maybe they're just playing a round of mental chess, trying to read each other's minds without uttering a word. I have reservations about this daring proposition. Consider the potential fallout if this entire situation spirals out of control. Quadir throws up his hand, clearly overdealing with my case. Capturing this whelp proved hardly a challenge. I wouldn't sweat the idea of catching her again. What's more, entrusting her with Cassel resolves two issues at once. It swiftly eliminates her presence and enables us to prioritize genuine concerns. But someone has to keep a constant watch over her. Valerie, perhaps one of yours? A batshit crazy idea bursts into my mind. The kind of a gamble that could either turn out brilliantly or spectacularly implode. Let the dice roll. How about him? I jabbed my finger toward the quiet caitiff. Patrick, was it? His expression shifts to one of utter confusion as he catches the subtle smirks of the council members. Surely you're not considering. This could play out quite favorably, I must admit. Quite favorably indeed. Holy shit, it actually worked. Very well, Patrick Conroy, I hereby appoint you as the agent caretaker for this ravenous neonate. I hate to break it to you, Sheriff, but this call is out of your turf. He's with us, Anarchs, and you know it well enough. Technically, when he took on the whole peacemaker role for our cliques, he acquired a level of neutrality, so yeah. Quadir redirects his gaze to the caitiff. Your responsibility is to ensure she fulfills the assignment within 4 nights, starting now. Any slip-ups on her end will reflect on your record as well. Do we have an understanding? 4 nights? Not a whole lot, but better than nothing. Patrick's resigned nod mirrors exactly how I feel. Now back to where we were. Their sudden disinterest in me as I cleared get out of here signal seems like I've managed to slide from one pit to another. But hey, I've bought myself a little time, and in my world, that's precious currency. Unless, of course, that caitiff turns out to be a wild card. I bought myself some time to find Renard and scram out of the city before the Camarilla catches on. The only trouble is that Catif tick clinging onto my back, which honestly is kind of my own fault. I need to figure out how to shake him off. We might not need air to nourish our Vita, but I still let out a sigh of relief when the doors to Elysium slammed shut behind us. Talk about a crew of entitled assholes, holed up in their ivory towers, sneering at kindred just scraping by to make dead ends meet. I hope they get a nice sharp stake to the foot. But hey, it's all good. My golden words and silver tongue managed to buy me some time to find Renard and get the hell out of Dodge before those clowns catch on, though we've already hit the west coast. The only hiccup for now is, keep making that face at me and it might just stick that way. Don't look if it vexes you so. Ever thought about gouging your eyes as a solution? I was explicitly told to keep my eyes on you to watch over you and need be even look out for you. That's quite a vision-centric assessment, wouldn't you say? Do what you will, but know that my job would be a whole lot more pleasant if you worked with me here. Shame no one asked me to make your job easy. Shame indeed. I shoot him a defiant glare and whirl around, his exasperated sigh chasing after me. But what may, this Catif tick's gotta go. Look, the sun is about to rise. We can pick up this little dance of ours again tomorrow night, okay? Let's get moving. My haven isn't even in this part of town. Hold up. What do you mean, your haven? Alright, hear me out. I get that this whole thing is a bit of a pain for the both of us. Trust me. I have no more desire to mind you than you have to be minded. But let's rewind for a second. You were the one who picked me out at Elysium and got us both into this mess. And if I let you out of my sight, things will get proper unpleasant for me, and believe me, I am speaking from experience. But you will be torn to shreds by Quadir's hound before you can say oops. I'll sniff you out sooner rather than later. That is a stone cold fact. So how about we skip the theoretics and you tag along to a place I know is safe. We can regroup and figure out our next move come nightfall. He stops mid-sentence, fingers crossed for whatever is the kindred version of a stroke. Maybe I could slip away and get to my RV. No, your RV is completely off the table. Keep it zip Catif. I've got plenty of other options. My RV is just fine. Not a problem. I've got a solid 7 other hideouts. I'm sure you do, though if they haven't seen your shadow in the last 6 months, I'd wager they no longer exist. Mind sharing where they were? Hello, is this the Secret Service speaking? Like I'd spill my shit to you, just so you know my network is sprawling and meticulously crafted. Think global spiderweb. Sounds more like you're the fly caught within, believing it's your very kingdom. Meanwhile, the fat spider at the center awaits its chance patiently. Yep, keep channeling your inner Keats. Gosh. He stays silent for a moment, likely thinking he's gained the upper hand in our verbal spar. I still count it as my win. Nevertheless, he starts yapping again soon after. In any case, we need a place to rest, and my haven is the safest choice. I really hate to resort to violence, but don't presume I won't. Drag you there if the need arises. It's your call. Every time I don't get a say, it somehow turns out to be my call. Come on, what do you think I'll do? Run away? Obviously. Oh, ye of little faith, would I try to bail on you on Christmas night? You sticking around might just count as a true holiday miracle, and no, I don't make on holiday miracles. If you are under the impression I'll let you out of my sight, then you are not paying attention. Come, let's not dilly-dally. Dilly-dally? Did they embrace him in a Dickens novel? Talk about being charming. All right, after you. Stubborn as I am, it turns out Mr. Thin and Mean over there is just as immovable. Arguing seems futile. Time for a different approach. I tossed him a thoughtful glance, noticing him leisurely fiddling with one of those ugly rings adorning every conceivable part of his hand. What a jerk. My quarterer would eat him alive, but I can deal with him on my own. Just fine. All I need is a little bit of inspiration. Let's play the beast card. That bounces might be easy to fool. How about a magic trick? I spy with my little eye. Wait, after I look around, a couple of schemes start to shape. I spy with my little eye a handful of mortals daring to navigate the frosty streets. Many of them stagger along on the frozen sidewalks, whether from the ice or generous helpings of alcohol they've indulged in earlier. Sorry, so quiet. I'm making the lazy for the... No, you're good. You're a good Spark. I completely understand. I'm trying to read and, like, not lose my voice over here because it's a lot of reading. I like these type of games, but it's just a lot of reading. And we're only on night 1 of 7, I think. Alright. It's quite the tempting scene. I'm not exactly famished. I managed to grab a bite on the road before hitting New York, but the catif's in the dark about that, and honestly, I'm pretty skilled at acting the part of the hungry predator, if I do say so myself. I halt abruptly, allowing a series of convulsive twitches to seize me. What's with the drama now? I'm feeling off. Haven't fed in a bit. It's starting to get to me. I don't think I can handle it much longer. You're telling me you cannot endure for a few more hours? No, with my clan, hunger hits differently. It's swift and merciless. It's just how we are. I've been there once, never want to go back. He shoots me a look filled with skepticism, but I just mimic a shiver, my body quaking as if I'm starved. Yeah, I'm lying all right, but he doesn't know that. Ravenous are a rare sight, practically unheard of around here or anywhere, really. So in his eyes, my performances could very well be genuine. I'm awesome. Thanks, Carlos. To further my agenda, I press a hand to my temple, my eyes tracking a solitary figure puffing away in a nearby nook. Had that Valerie skink not blindsided me, I might have. All right enough, just make it quick. I'll stay close just in case. We make our way toward the isolated figure. Padrick positions himself to block any escape while I face our target. The guy blows out a cloud of smoke, his eyes dazed, mumbling under his breath. Sorry, pal. I lean in as if I wanted to give him the kiss, but instead I push him hard. What's this? Oh, look at that. It's a glossary. I'm going to pause and we're going to read through some of this. So the kiss. As an act of drinking blood, usually from a mortal, the kiss causes feelings of ecstasy in those who receive it. Baron, an informed title for the Anarch, leader of a domain. How they acquire or exercise power varies by domains and groups. They may be charismatic gang leaders, brutal warlords, an elected public representative, but a particular distrusted type of baron is the one who claimed the sole seat of a whole city, like their Camarilla analog, a prince. Cain, a mythical figure considered to be the first and most powerful vampire, the same person as Cain from the biblical stories. Some vampires refer to themselves as Cainites, members of the race of Cain. Chantry, a traditional name for the Tremor headquarters in a city, usually part shelter, part library, and part laboratory. Coterie, a small group of kindred united by the need for support and sometimes common interests. Court, the social system of a city's kindred, resembling the feudal systems of mortals. At the top is the prince, below the members of the Privilegian Council. Order in the domain is maintained by a sheriff. The gatherings are organized in secret sanctuaries known as Elysiums. Cryptolic. A specific sphere unique to each ravenous band will allow them to communicate in coded language. Callie's Coterre employs a modified hobo code signs, distinguished by the addition of 3 lines over a dot, which alters the original symbol, meaning allowing only those in the known to understand the message behind it. Elysium, a place where vampires may gather without fear of harm. Court functions in Elysium are strictly kept apart from mortals and surrounded by secrecy. But the Elysium building itself could be a public museum, a gallery, or club. Bergon is an Anarch Elysium. The Louvre is a Camarilla Elysium. Final death. When a vampire crosses from undeath into true death, once they reach this point, they are unable to be brought back. Fire, sunlight, decapitation, dismemberment, or total destruction of the body are things that can bring final death. A vampire less than 1 year old becomes a rotting corpse, with those older become skeletons or even dust. We will read some more of these in a minute. There's a lot of them. I didn't realize how many there were. I lean in as if I was wanting to give him the kiss, but instead I push him hard, sending him stumbling straight into Patrick's open arms. And just like that, the guy topples to the ground, while the catif somehow remains upright despite being thrown off balance. It's my cue to seize the moment and zoom away in the opposite direction, pushing my legs as fast as they'll go. I have no idea where I'm going, but solitude sounds perfect right now. Even after everything tonight, it looks like I'm on a roll. Must be that ravenous charm working its magic. I instantly regret my choice the moment I dash into an alleyway. A dodgy crew handling crates that seems to be filled with combat gear snaps their attention toward me the moment I make my entrance, and they've seen my inhuman speed. Shit. Caleb, look. Her again. Seriously, what the hell? Once is a fluke, twice is an awfully fucked up coincidence, and I've seen too much to believe in those. It's that raggedy bitch I told you I wasn't seeing things. Not now, for fuck's sake, I've got eyes. Squad to your positions. They begin to circle me, exchanging nods. It's only then I notice their tactical gear and the unmistakable outline of wooden stakes. Is this the infamous Special Affairs Division? Seriously, fuck my unlife. Renard was spot on. I'm always too quick to pop the champagne. Special Affairs Division, also called SAD. This FBI division is committed to neutralizing the kindred threat. SAD uses its influence in law enforcement and extensive case files for anti-kindred activities, usually using finesse and detective work to get to the targets. They have a large collection of mystical artifacts they are reluctant to share. Commandered kindred assets give them impressive economic freedom from other federal entities known collectively as the Second Inquisition. They begin to circle me, exchanging nods. It's only then I notice their tactical gear and the unmistakable outline of wooden stakes. Okay, we already read that. Back off, would you? This isn't going to end well for you. Shut your filthy gob, leech. He whips out a stake to compensate for his shaky tone. I'm not one for head-on combat, but it's way past the time for punning. From the sides now. They come at me all at once with an attack, surprisingly uncoordinated for such a well-equipped team. That, Desiree, is the only reason I may survive this. As a flash of heat surges through me, their movement seems to slow down. I grab the first one by the arm as he swings, a knife at me, driving my nails into his armpit. Everything turns a shaded red I find disturbingly pleasant. Next, I leap and I spin, taking the squeaky girl down with a kick that leaves her neck at a grotesque angle, her body crumbling to the ground. Their leader waves his stake in hesitation, searching for an opening. Bring it on, you undead whore. I don't give him the chance. In an instant, I'm at his throat, tearing and ripping. His blood washes over my skin like a hot shower. It feels comforting. As the chaos fades, there I am, perfectly unharmed, amid the carnage, swept in the rush of victory. Tonight, is definitely my night. But then reality strikes, quite literally. Knocked into my knees and slowly dazed, I scrambled to get up. I need to get out before the catif catches up. As I try to rise, a kick sends me sprawling. Another thug, one that I miss, sits on top of me, stake in hand, aims straight at my heart. I react instantly, bucking my hips and reaching for his elbow, ready to tear and rip, but I can't. And I don't have to. Hold on, I need breath. Hold on. Do-do-do-do. This game is good as slurry. Suddenly hands encircle the thug's neck, twisting it in a complete circle, reminiscent of some horror movie owl. He drops beside me lifeless as the catif casually retrieves the stake. So hunger took you out, huh? Piss off. I believe thank you is the phrase you're looking for. You should be glad I caught up to you so quickly. He extends his hand with grace, and there's a part of me itching to grab it, to pull at it and literally take him down a peg. But I let the moment pass. The brawls wore me out, and dawn's creeping up on us. I refuse his help, pushing myself up with a mix of pride and fatigue. Why don't you hold on to the stake? Consider it a memento of the time you nearly got taken out by a few hunters and needed my intervention. A slice of humble pie, if you will. What? Sorry, my husband came in here. Okay, where was it at? We're gonna read the Hunter's thing. Hunter, mortal who have discovered the existence of supernatural creatures around them and decided to do something with it. Hunters typically work in cells, small tight-knit groups united for protection, teamwork, or via a shared cause. I tucked the stake into my belt bag, feeling more awkward about it than I care to show. For the record, I had it under control, but wait, hunters? Of course, you didn't seriously think it was the sad, did you? I should say SAD, but I just say sad because that's what it looks like to me. He lets out a chuckle, the first one I've heard from him. It feels out of place, I think. Do not take it personally, but if it were the sad you were up against, you'd have been taken out before you even realized there was a threat. They're too well organized, too professional. These guys, however. He sweeps his hand around, gesturing toward the fallen hunters. Well, they haven't quite mastered the element of surprise. Still running into that many in one place, Quadair mentioned something about a locust swarm back at Elysium. But, come on, twice in one night? That's more than just bad luck. Indeed, New York is nowhere near as safe for our kind as it once was. This is not your typical hunter behavior. It's an anomaly, and its source is still unknown. Until we figure it out, I strongly advise against sprinting like a demented cheetah, biting whatever's within arm's reach, or showing off your unique powers. For your own safety, assume you're under constant surveillance. Choose your moments wisely. It's the second time I'm hearing this kind of warning tonight. Maybe I should actually start paying attention. And you might want to rethink your attempts to ditch me. I might not arrive in time to save you the next time you get in trouble. But next time, he seems to have me all figured out. Alright, maybe sticking with you might have some benefits. Am I hearing things, or was that a compliment? Don't let it go to your head, and don't expect a repeat. Now about that haven of yours. Where Katif lies low. The sun's about to rise, and I've had more than enough for one night. All I need is to sink into the deep, dark void of rest, and tonight, Patrick's haven is the place to be. I don't know if we should main quest or detour. Detour. Silence usually doesn't bother me. It's often a chance to collect my scattered thoughts, which lets me be honest, are usually all over the damn place. That is so friggin' accurate, and this is legit my words. That is so accurate. It's often a chance to collect my scattered thoughts, which, let's be honest, are usually all over the damn place. It can also be a big, flashy sign that I fucked up and that I've gotten scrambled to bounce back from the mess I made. But this kind of silence, this is some golden opportunity right here. One in which I throw in the towel, stop giving a shit, and just enjoy watching the lanky one squirm like he's an army of an invincible fist going to town on his brain. Of course it doesn't last, not with the oddball in the distance eyeing us. Christ, check out that guy. Huh? That bootleg Wesley Snipes right there, look. I toss a subtle glance toward the guy decked out in black, but the longer I stare, the more I think, oh shit. You think he's one of them? A hunter? What? Of course not. I mean, I get that the group we dealt with wasn't exactly a think tank, but out here in broad nightlight and dressed like a walking cliche? I'm freezing some lassie for tomorrow. I'll be out at doctor's appointments from 8 to 6 without a lunch break, so I'm bringing snacks and a big thing of lassie that will thaw over the day. I hope your doctor's appointments go well tomorrow. I know that it's probably been really crazy here recently and all that, so. What? Of course not. I mean, I get that the group we dealt with wasn't exactly a think tank, but out here in broad nightlight and dressed like a walking cliche. He rattles it off so fast I almost suspect he's trying to distract me. It's just a stranger of the night, pay him no mind. Yeah, sure. My stranger danger sense, that skin-crawling sensation of an unfamiliar presence getting too close, hasn't dulled since I was embraced. And now I've gotten better defenses than pepper spray. But the sleazy way he looks at me as we cross paths, it's disgustingly indescribable. And then he speaks. Evening, ma'am. There's something eerie about the tone of his voice. I nod automatically and shoot Patrick a wary look. He signals to keep walking. Mr. Conroy, evening to you. Quite the night, eh? Fuck, this isn't just some rando then. The way he drops Patrick's last name stops us in our tracks like he's cast a binding spell. Quite the night indeed. We're kinda in a rush though. I see. I'll be brief then. Mr. Conroy, your obligations, I'm here on behalf of our shared acquaintance, gently reminding you of what's at stake. The circumstances rapidly change, as you're aware, I'm sure. The smugness in his voice is grating enough to make me grind my teeth, but surprisingly, it's Patrick who loses his cool, not me. His tone gets abrasive, a side of him I've never seen before, but then I've known him 3 hours tops. I'm well aware, and don't you worry about passing that along. I've managed without a proxy so far, and I don't plan on needing one now. Regrettably, that's not up to you to decide. Oh, shit, talking. Let's not smack him. Yeah, we're looking at braces to force my bones back into place in my legs. My wheelchair company screwed my legs up real bad. Oof, oof. Plus, endocrinology testing to try to fix my osteopenia. I don't know what a lot of these words are. I'm sorry, Sparks. I'm sorry. I need to look up some of them for sure. Medical terms. Gotta love them. Alright, Christ, I didn't sign up for an evening of snarky back and forth. Oh, shut up. Yada, yada, yada. Just get yourself a good whipping. Might help with all that pent-up rage. You've certainly got the overalls down. Mr. Conroy, keep your wildling in line, would you? Throwing a shade without even making eye contact. Grow some balls and face me, Dick. Stay out of it, Callie. I'm not done here, and clearly this asshole wasn't either, judging by his puffed-up chest. But suddenly he's all chill, like we didn't just have a moment. Enjoy the night, Mr. Conroy. Ma'am. Then he locks eyes with me. Better watch out for dingy alleys. They're crawling with vermin, as you already know. His words echo in my mind as we head towards Patrick's safe house. At first I thought it was a threat, but now I'm not so sure. How the fuck does he know? Does gossip really spread around that quickly here? Who the hell was that? Just an old contact of mine, nothing to worry about? Right. And how the fuck did he know about our run-in with the hunters? I don't know, Callie, okay? Maybe he took a wild guess. It's not exactly a stretch to run into trouble here, especially now. Especially with you around. He's clearly shaken by the whole thing. How intriguing. Look, I'm sorry. It's probably nothing to lose sleep over. Let's just get moving, alright? I give a nod, not like there's much choice with him being all jitters and no candor. Looks like my dear Catif sitting on a pile of secrets. Considering the vibe of that jackass we just dealt with, the mind reels at the possibilities. But then again, what are we if not the secrets we keep? Let's see. Endocrinology manages hormones, osteopenia means my bones are thin and brittle due to having low estrogen. Oh, okay. Thank you for clarifying that, Spark. Alright, we're Catif's. The walk feels endlessly long. I try to focus on the task of locating Renard, but my thoughts just won't line up right. Definitely not a promising end to the night. Before I know it, we're already there. This is our stop. Let's head inside. Dawn is nearly upon us. He steps to the door first, but leaves it open for me. I see it as a slight sign of trust. Or maybe I'm just too exhausted to be on the lookout for tricks. Home, sweet home. Peeking into a kindred's haven is kind of like trying to read their diary, assuming they have one, of course. Our van, which I share with my compere, might tell a story of converted operations, daring escapes, and tight-knit camaraderie. For those with a flair for drama, that is. To anyone else, it could just seem like a mobile hideout for a few smugglers. Granted, I haven't exactly been a guest in many havens, but this one, it's particularly shouting its love affair with books and a certain, let's say, relaxed approach to tidiness. And that Patrick probably didn't expect to have company, like ever. Every inch of it is covered in books, papers, and random notes. A wild mosaic of ideas from the mundane to the outright unhinged. I swear there are even scribblings on napkins in the mix. Patrick seems a little bit flustered that I caught his haven in such disarray. He rushes to clean up, picking up an armful of paper along the way. Make yourself at home. The couch is all yours. Check out his book collection. Ask about the papers. Alright, I gotta decide what I want to do. Ask about the papers, check out his book collection, or what kind of I'm gonna go with ask about the papers. What's with the papers explosion? You fancy yourself a writer or something? No. Clearly, he does. The stack of papers he's clutching is kept unwrapped and impossible to read, but the ones littering the rest of space, they're up for grabs. I stretch my neck to get a closer look, ditching any attempt to be sneaky, only to find some disjointed snippets about history, voices, oracles, and the like. I shoot him a disappointed frown, only to be met with his painfully blank gaze. Clearly someone's got their poker face down pat. A history buff? Don't take this the wrong way, but you totally give off that vibe. Why would I take it the wrong way? Dunno. Thought maybe you'd take it as an insult or something. Would it be a far-fetched notion if I thought so? Yeah, I guess you have a point. He gives me a slight smile. It's not exactly brimming with joy, but hey, I'll take what I can get. Get some rest. We've got a busy night ahead of us. He's hard to put up a fight against common sense, especially when you're running on empty. I give him a vague wave, settle onto the couch amid a few stray papers, and let myself sink into the deep, dark void of rest. A few hours prior. The steady drone of machinery blends with the aroma of ancient dust and robust alchemy. Conjuring a palpable atmosphere that teases the senses, it is a relentless reminder of the raw power in action. A sensation that never leaves you, no matter how far away you go. Is it common theme across Tremere Labs, or did she add a personal twist just for my sake? Tremere. The arcane clan Tremere were once a house of mortal mages who sought immortality but found only undeath. As vampires, they've perfected ways to bend their own blood to their will, employing their sorceries to master and ensorcel both the mortal and vampire world. Their power makes them valuable, but few vampires trust their scheming ways. Monakirs, the Broken Clan, Uspers, Warlocks, Hemertics, Thaumaturgus, Transgressors, and Blood Mages. Bah, that's beside the point tonight. Tonight the stakes are sky high, no room for getting sidetracked. I'm only going to ask this once. You do understand all the specifics, correct? The procedure and the risks that come with it? My gaze drifts down to my necklace, a symbol of my cause. I nod in silent agreement. Make no mistake, should you attempt to violate our arrangement, I have my methods to track you down. Believe me, that would be far less pleasant than what's coming next. Let's just get this over with, shall we? I'm instantly hit with pain so intense it feels like my flesh is being torn asunder. And no matter how much I try, I can't black out for even the briefest moment of blissful reprieve. My consciousness clings on, as stubborn as I am, as if making me pay for my plentiful sins or paving the road for the new ones to come. But the agony is worth it, and so is the prize that's coming after. Wow. Actually, that was a pretty decent demo there. It says, Vampire the Masquerade Reckoning of New York. Thank you for playing. This concludes the demo. Look forward to more content upon release. It is definitely on my wish list. It is definitely a long read. It is a lot of dialogue. A lot of very many creative characters. I love the art style. And I love the intensity of a lot of the scenes. And I love the ambiance, because you can hear like skin being ripped and all kinds of gory stuff, and I'm sure there's a lot more coming. You should speed run how fast you can get the character killed. I don't think that they made it possible during the demo to get them killed. I think that it's kind of just like the very, very beginning intro of... Because it's literally not even the first night. It's like... I guess it is the first night. It's like the first night, and that's the only night you get. But it's definitely worth it. I want to get the other two first stories. So this is the third installment. I want to get the other two. I'm going to have to save a little bit of money to get them, but I do want to play them on my channel, and when this comes out for release, I will have it. For sure. Maybe with that lady at the RV park, do it for the Vine. You want me to do it? Okay. Okay, we're going to exit to my menu. Okay, we'll do this. We'll pick other things to see what happens. Alright. We're gonna go with... Alright. Well, I was getting with those two this time. Hunger, time, threat. Okay. I'm not reading it again. I will, if it's new dialogue, I will read it. The art style is so gorgeous, though. Make your character act as rude and uncooperative as possible. Okay, we will do that. And if it is new dialogue, I will say it. Vampire the Masquerade Teenager Edition. I love that. December 2024, 7 nights till New Year. Should I just skip through all this dialogue? As I'm assuming we've already read it, and this is just explaining the scene in front of me. Or should I reread it again? I feel like it would be a little repetitive. You know, I'm just gonna skip through it. Oh, so you got here when, okay, so I'll read it. It probably would sound very better at the beginning from the first go around because now my voice is all cracky and stuff, but I can read I'll at least read the overall aesthetic of what we're going for, and then I'll go through the rest of it. So D'Angelo's bureau, if you could even call it that, feels more like a rough draft of an asteroid belt. Suggesting it to shabby almost gives it too much credit, as if there's some hidden alerts to the mess, which there definitely isn't. His head is cocked thoughtfully, beady eyes piercing me right through. Does this acute interest stem from the matter I brought in, or does he simply enjoy watching me wriggling in this wretched chair? I'd ask, but underneath the repulsive mask of his face, I noticed something that looks a lot like fear. A detail I pocket for later. A strong synthetic odor taints the still air. The world is moving forward, but this crap reeks worse than your average smoke. And the way he squashes those mini cigs in the ashtray, it's clear D'Angelo's struggling to shake off old habits. Not that I'm the one to throw stones, but he's quite the character. Useful, but infuriating too at times. Like right now, for example. Oh, come on. I didn't lose him, you goof. He just never turned up to our meeting. So, okay, let me read it from the beginning, from D'Angelo's part. Let me get this straight. You lost your sire, eh? I didn't lose him, you goof. He just never turned up to our meeting. Easy, Tiger. Just trying to get the situation clear here. What's unclear about it? I went to our meeting spot and he wasn't there. That never happens. Renard Castell has a knack for vanishing, though. Maybe he had to make himself scarce. Skip town? He'd have left me a clue for sure. You still relying on those wall tags, the hobo code or whatnot? Little Chandler had totally been killing it lately. I mean, I might have casually mentioned the code once or twice, but nothing major. Well, alright, maybe I showed him a symbol one that's pretty much useless on its own. If Renard catches wind of me spilling the beans, he's gonna flip. He's like Fort Knox when it comes to our secrets. We do, and I found absolutely zilch. It doesn't happen, by the way. We never bail on each other when we split up for stuff like this. It's just too dangerous. Should I tell him? Should I tell him? Maybe he didn't have the chance to leave a trail. Where were you two supposed to... I should just tell him, right? Because I denied it last time. I said, why was he snooping so much? So I shouldn't tell him? Well, let's go with this one. The usual sketchy alley we have always hit up. Don't worry your pretty face about the details. Why all the secrecy? You think I'm gonna snitch to the undead cops? Look, I'm just trying to do this investigation, right? And yeah, I know your spot, Coney Island, right? I don't know what happened last time, to be honest. You're all good. Then what was the point of asking in the first place? Narrative reasons? Maybe dropping by D'Angelo's wasn't such a great plan, or maybe he's not as useless as I assumed. But he's definitely got me on edge. We're going to... What's that? What's with the mumbling? He glances at me, genuinely confused. What mumbling? You know what? Never mind. So you made your way to Coney Island but came up empty-handed. No cassell, no train to follow, anything noteworthy at all? Just your typical shady assholes loitering around, clearly up to something pretty standard for New York City as far as I'm aware. Shady assholes? Who? Kindred? Regular folks, all twitchy and restless? If it wasn't so passé, I bet they were gonna pull off a flash mob. A look of confusion flashes across his face. Flash mob? The hell is a flash mob? What flash mob? We stare at each other for a while, I smugly, and he utterly perplexed. I savor the moment, waiting for him to break the silence, but when he finally speaks, it's not at all what I was expecting to hear. To be frank, Callie, I'm running short on answers. Your sire seems to just temporarily unavailable, or gone for good, or something else. Can't say I'm entirely shocked. He tries to stroll around nonchalantly. The mess in his bureau just as nonchalantly throws him off balance. It completely ruins his noir vibe, so I shoot him a cheeky grin. But he's too caught up to even notice. Breaking character must have rattled him good. If I were you, I'd take a leaf out of his book and disappear. Pronto. In fact, that's exactly what I intend to do once I'm through with my business in the city. I unpocketed the fear I observed a moment ago and gave D'Angelo's another good lasting look. He's generally terrified, like seriously scared, but there's this hint of desperation too. I've got to tame my inner con artist. She's practically salivating in my head, just waiting to join in. Narrative reasons? But when things go south, D'Angelo is the buddy you stick with, not nobody you ditch and forget. Gianni, seriously, what's up? I'm kind of freaking out here. There are too many loose ends to stitch together a complete tale, and frankly, it's too lengthy for just one night anyway. But there's a storm gathering in the city. I've been through some rough patches, but this feels like a whole different kind of trouble. Cut the cryptic shit just for once. He looks over my shoulder, lost in thought, like he's figuring out how to drop an anchor on someone who's already drowning. Our kind has been dropping like flies lately. Nobody seems to be a specific target, but it's hitting mostly Duskborn. The court dubs it the culling of thin bloods. Real knee slapper they've got those sons of guns. But there's been other victims too. A chill runs down my dead spine. Are the sex seriously at each other's throats that hard? Same old song and dance, right? But this time there's a curveball, enough to make them halt the hostilities. And, you know what? I'll fill you in while we hit the road. The urge to flee slams into me like a freight train. There's something about his tone that almost convinces me to hightail it out of the city, but it's not quite time to make a break for it. I might stick around for a while, so... D'Angelo is visibly concerned. Should I be worried too? You really not gonna let him go, huh? Of course not. I'll find Reynard come hell or high water. Besides, someone has to handle detective duty since judging by how desperately you want me to drive you out of town, damsel in distress is already taken. I really like this character. She's awesome. Alright. I can't read any more of this. We'll get to the parts we just make decisions because my throat is killing me. And for anybody that's watching this later, I don't want to like watch it and then like me rereading everything again. So pretty much she's talking about hiding at this point. He's telling her to keep low. You read fast? Okay. I'm a big book reader too, so I get it. I kind of wonder if we should just skip to this one. Oh! Ooh, this is it for... Okay, cool. So I haven't done this one. Because we're doing it out of order. So you'd think that the subway at 3 a.m. on Christmas night would be a tranquil haven, right? No. Think again. It's not exactly a morning rush, but there's still a bunch of people around, most of them zoned out, clearly buzzed from booze, drugs, or just plain old tiredness. The blood slowly coursing through their veins just beneath the surface of their skin tempts me in ways I cannot describe. I force myself to look away, not for the dregs of my own morality, nor because I feel any grand respect for them. It's simpler than that. Too many eyes, too much risk. The corridor's unspoken credo. I get off of Coney Island, quickly heading back to the Wonder Wheel, scanning for Renard's unmistakably flamboyant red overcoat he somehow manages to pull off. No such luck. But maybe he's back at our usual spot. Or perhaps he swung by while I was out and left one of our wall signs. Instead, what greets me is an unsettling number of shady figures prowling around. 3 to be exact, all on edge, looking like they're on some sort of patrol. Some of the dialogue is the same, just had a street background last time. Yes, that one was, but this scene right here isn't. Because this part right here about the Wonder Wheel and Renard and the red coat, that wasn't the last one. Because I skipped, so what I've realized, it is kind of a choice game, so you can go main quest or you can do side, like you take another route to it, right? So as many times as you play it, you can do different ones. Instead, what greets me is an unsettling number of shady figures piling around. 3 to be exact, all on edge, looking like they're on some sort of patrol. If they're kindred, they're probably Camarilla, and considering this is their territory, it's not that I have an issue with them. Okay, I do, But let's not get into that right now. I'm just not up for socializing. One kindred run-in per night is already pushing my limits. Cloak of shadows, let's take a breather in the darkness, or they won't hear me walking away. I let go of myself, the meat, veins, bones in my suit, the wind wrapping around me like a warm hug of a mother welcoming her child home, and I become one with the air. The curious glances of those passing by slip off me as if I were never there. As soon as they vanish into the night, I reappear in plain sight and quickly head toward the Wonder Wheel. Renard isn't there to greet me, and a quick look around yields no wall signs either. I turn my on my heel, disappointed, and lock eyes with one of the kindred I so skillfully dodged. Their gaze is steady, piercing, downright eerie. With no option left, I put on my best con woman face and give them a nonchalant nod before walking away with all the confidence I can muster. Big mistake, it turns out. The kindred lurches forward, chasing after me as I break into a run. I've been to this amusement park many times before, so I know it like the back of my hand. I duck and weave through the rides and the booths, shaking off my pursuer with ease. I have to leave. Coney Island, maybe even New York, just as D'Angelo warned. The city's becoming a no-go zone for the kindred, or at least for me. I'm almost at the entrance to the subway when I notice her. Actually, scratch that. It's my skin that reacts first, every hair standing on end as if electrocuted, an alarm players in my head, screaming danger. Only then do I see her stepping smoothly out of the shadows, gait relaxed and yet somehow predatory. Enjoy the ride, sugar? I have no idea who she is, and I'm normally spot on at identifying those who prefer me finally dead. It's handy in my line of business. Sorry, we're closed for the night. Guess y'all forgot to mention they don't serve a night owl crowd here. She doesn't even see. This is why I see what you're saying, Spark. Similar, right? I'm afraid you're gonna have to come with me. Don't tell me what to do. What's your deal? You part of the fun police? Here we go. This is where we're getting into the... Is this like a contest for you using as many Haken nicknames as you possibly in a single conversation? Teenager edition! I'm trying. Shit. See, that doesn't give me any choice. I still have to go. We just skipped half the stuff though. Pretty much the same conversation we had earlier. Let her cook. Yeah, I know. I think later on we'll get more of a choice. Mind you, it's not out yet, so... But yeah, it's a lot of the same stuff. So we can do... Scan for access points. It's pretty much the same thing. We're meeting the same people. Super lot of dialogue. For anyone like coming in or watching this later, we were trying to like try to get the character killed, and so far not happening. I think in like the main like actual game we'll be able to, but all of this is pretty much the same. Yeah, this is all the same. What cash? Look, I'm just a driver, okay? What do I know? I go where I'm told, close my eyes, crank up some Flostrometus, and let whatever happens in the back of that RV happen. So a terrible taste in music and also a complete idiot. Huh? Sorry, but I've got zilch for you. No answers and honestly nothing to clear my name from. Wait, would the other answers work? I don't think so. Because the other ones were like a lot more calm than the ones I was picking though. Yeah, because this is like all the same dialogue. Wow, there's a lot of dialogue. I like his art style. It's nice. I like his shirt. Why does everyone look so edgy and then there's just wheelchair grandpa? I don't know. I was like, what was the point in that? Like, he looks like a werewolf. And then you got this guy. He must have been military because he has dog tags. And you got her. She looked like me in high school. I look like that in high school. So, okay. The guy from the Black Eyed Peas, young Elvira. I love Elvira though. And the guy from the Mummy. Yep. That guy from the Black Eyed Peas, young Elvira, the guy from the Mummy, and a grandpa. Nah, it's just the guy from the Mummy after he gets his soul sucked from his body. This is the grandpa. Alright. I don't know necessarily. We can try. Shut your eyes and trust me. Then maybe it's time you shut your eyes, pal, and let me navigate to us to our destination. Just give it a 10 count more peeping. I would rather we didn't. Positive sentence. Actually, on second thought, that might just top the chart is the worst suggestion I've been privy to tonight, and believe me, as some heavy competition. Don't worry, there's more to come. I haven't played my final card yet. Stay optimistic. Roll around his exaggerated sigh, chasing after me, but what made this catif's tick? It's gotta go. Haven. Keep it zipped, Catif. Why on earth would I choose to spend the day with you? Full disclosure, you're really not my type and well, anything. Consider me heartbroken. How rude, leading a poor defenseless girl back to your lair with a promise of shelter. I won't stand for it, sir. Could you maybe not? It's hardly as amusing as you seem to think, and let's be real, the ship for me playing gentleman sailed a while ago. Not like the Arabic guy from the Mummy, the cool one. You mean you never were a gentleman, right? You stay silent for a moment, likely thinking he's gained the upper hand in our verbal spar. I'm still count as my win. Nevertheless, he starts yapping again soon after. Yeah, see, it seems like the dialogue is pretty much similar. Not like no matter what way you do it, it's pretty much similar. So we're gonna auto skip that. Magic trick. Lifting his ring might be a bit ambitious when he's so wired, but I've got other trick up my sleeve. I fish a ring from my belt bag, a trinket I nicked off some sucker back in Chicago. It's a piece of junk, really. No pawn shop would glance twice at it, but you never know when a useless thing might come in handy. I clear my throat awkwardly and evoke an appropriately embarrassed face. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm sorry for getting sappy earlier. Rough night, you get it? Well, an apology isn't quite enough, but it's a start. Yeah, we got off to the wrong foot, huh? Let's start again. Name's Callie. With that, I extend my hand. It hovers in the frigid air, waiting for his response. After a brief pause, he reaches out and shakes it. Patrick Conroy. Take this as my cue, clasping his hand warmly with both of mine, shaking with all the vigor I can muster. Nice to meet you, Patrick. Fancy seeing a magic trick? I beg your pardon? I flash him the ring with a nasty smile, watching as his face turned a shade paler. Before he has a chance to check his own fingers, I take a big swing. Want your precious ring back? Then fetch. I hurl the ring into the distance, listening as it clinks off a wall. As the catif dashes off, I seize the moment and zoom away in the opposite direction, pushing my legs as fast as they'll go. I have no idea where I'm going, but solitude sounds perfect, right? Even after another night, it looks like I'm in a roll. Must be that ravenous charm working its magic. And then this is when we get stuck in the alley. Lost something to solve. She said, yeet. Exactly. Yeah, this is like all the same dialogue pretty much, minus a little bit. And this is the Stranger in the Night thing, which I'm pretty sure is like the same. For anybody watching in the future, we're just going through and seeing if anything changes. Although you're really hoping we can kill off this character. Evening, ma'am. Dun. Can I punch him? Spark. Should we smack him in the face? Smack him in the face. Before I know it, it's my fist is flying, slamming into the asshole's face hard enough to knock the smugness right off of it. Damn, here we go again. You bitch, I'll have your skin for that. Alright, enough. Patrick steps in like a pro bouncer, pulling a solid barrier between me and that dickhead. You better keep that bitch on the leash, Conroy. Who knows what could happen to her? Nothing's gonna happen, understood? I'm not done here, and clearly this asshole isn't either, judging by his puffed up chest. But suddenly he's all chill like we didn't just have a moment. Enjoy the night, Mr. Conroy. Ma'am. First off, don't call me ma'am. Then he locks eyes with me. Better watch out for dingy alleys. They're crawling with vermin, as you already know. His words echo in my mind as we head towards Patrick's safe house. At first I thought it was a threat, but now I'm not so sure. How the fuck does he know? Does gossip really spread around that quickly here? Who the hell was that? Just an old contact of mine, nothing to worry about? Right, and how the fuck did he know about our run-in with the hunters? I don't know, Callie, okay? Maybe he took a wild guess. It's not exactly a stretch to run into trouble here, especially now, especially with you around. He's clearly shaken by the whole thing. How intriguing. Look, I'm sorry, it's probably nothing to lose sleep over. Let's just get moving, alright? I have a nod, not like there's much choice with him, being all jitters and no candor. Looks like my dear Catif's sitting on a pile of secrets, considering the vibe of that jackass we just dealt with. The mind reels at the possibilities. But then again, what are we if not the secrets we keep? Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Because we're going to end up at the same place. Nothing's going to change. I think the only difference is I'm going to look at his books. Among the clutter, a vast collection of James Joyce stands out, surrounded by other books that feel more like homework than leisure reading. Hedrig's choice in literature definitely on the no fun side. The stack of papers he's clutching and kept under wraps and impossible to read, but the ones littering the rest of the room, they're up for grabs. Same thing that we read earlier. History buff. And the few hours prior thing. Same thing. Leaves like a little snippet for the next part. Yep. Window. Window if you get a choice. I mean, I can load, but I don't know where it's going to load at. Yep. So that's the game. I love the fact that you get to deck the guys who you get. But yeah, it's a pretty good game. The art style is pretty good. The dialogue's really good. I like the characters. I really would like to get it and see what else happens. And I would definitely like to read the other ones for sure. This time you didn't have the choice between papers and books and window. That's weird. I didn't notice that. Yeets out the window at the first chance, right? But yeah, so we went through it once, read it, and then we went through it and tried to get the character killed. That didn't work. I think when they actually release it, there will be an opportunity for that stuff to happen, because you have to think at the very beginning you get to pick where you put your points. So just like, I'm not going to do it again, but just to show you examples. So our disciplines, we get to pick our points. So I feel like later this is going to have a effect, right? Because let's say I pick this one and this one, right? On, off. So on, off. We had it on. So this will allow later for us to actually do stuff. Struggle against your inner beast by adding extra costs and risk to disciplines. The hunters are watching your every move. Play it safe or risk getting ambushed or on detours. So I feel like this is going to be a little bit more vast when the actual game comes out. Like, I feel like there's actually going to be worry about dying. So we'll have to come back and play it when it comes out, and we'll be able to play him, it looks like. I don't think we can unlock it now, but we'll be able to eventually unlock him, so that's cool. But yeah, I feel like that was a good demo. About 2.5 hours of streaming, which was great. I am going to get ready to go lay down, so then we got to do the detour. We did the detour. The detours are where we found the hunters, but that's the thing, like, the map is so small right now because they're only going to allow us to see so many quests, right? Because you don't want to open too much, so they give us choices, but they're going to probably make it more open in quests. Yeah, I gotta go to bed too. Alright, well, thank you for coming in and hanging out for a little bit. I appreciate you. And everybody else for stopping in and hanging out. Spark, be careful tomorrow. I don't want to say have a good day at the hospital because that sounds terrible. But try to have a positive day as much as possible. And I'm sending you all the good vibes and all that jazz. And thank you for everybody for coming in and hanging out. So let me go to the top, and there wasn't very many, but I know that everybody's going to work tomorrow and stuff, so it makes sense. Robin, thank you for stopping by and hanging out for a little bit. I hope you feel better, 20. Skylar, my brother, hopefully you have a good night. Carlos, thank you for coming in and hanging out. And Spark, thank you for being here, and I hope that you have a positive day tomorrow. Is that Summer and Mara? Homie, I love Summer. Did you see there's a sequel? Yes, I did. I saw the announcement. Yes, these are some of the games I have. So I got Hoka Life, Fae Farm, Farm Together 2, Coral Island, Wildflowers, The Sims 4, Echoes of the Plum Grove, The Witcher Enhanced. I just got the Witcher games. Big Farm Story, Little Guardsman, Hogwarts Legacy, Story Seasons, Cat Cafe, Potions, A Curious Tale, Sarah's Adventure, Ravenous Devils, which is pretty much, if you've ever seen Sweeney Todd, that's what this is. It's like a horror cooking game. Like you own a business, and there's a tailor upstairs and a baker downstairs, and they're married, and you have to make people's bodies into food for the bakery, and the husband's the tailor and resells the clothes. It's such a good game. I've never streamed it on my channel though, but it's a good game. But yeah, and then Traveler's Rest and all that stuff. I have a bunch of cool games. But I am really excited for the sequel for Summer and Mara. I will eventually get it once I finish this one. But yeah, I got a whole bunch of games. But I will see everybody later. Friday. So Wednesday I won't be streaming. Even though I know it's DDV update day, I won't be streaming just because it's the middle of the week. I will possibly be streaming tomorrow, maybe morning, afternoon. I want to get my Dream Snap done. I need to get my Dream Snap done. If not, then I'm probably just going to do it on my own. But have a good night, Spark. Have a good night, everybody. And for everyone that's watching later, please make sure to like and subscribe. It helps the channel, and it's completely free. But I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you later. Bye.